everybody. I'm going to start the today's session. In case you need to interrupt me or you would like to ask anything, you can question. As I told you earlier, I would like to start from the description of Panchaskanda, and thereafter we are going to discuss the song that I shared, and Venerable Sir, if you have anything to ask or question anytime, you can unmute the mic and question. But here I try to keep the mic muted so that we may not get any stray noises. And after finishing the discussion, I hope some of you would do your presentation. So I think you would voluntarily offer to do your presentation. And after finishing the discussion, we are going to send you the whole discussion in form of a text once we get them typed. And today I would like to start the discussion from the topic of Panchaskanda. All right, the entity taken to be life is a grouping of 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates are the constituents of a person and personality. Accordingly, 5 aggregates are the basic components that make up oneself or individuality. The 5 skandhas are bundles, or we can say files, heaps, aggregates, or sort of collections or groupings of physical forms or material forms. Sometimes we can say that physical image. In Pali, we call rupa. And thereafter, we get feelings or sensations, vedana. And then perceptions, which we call act of memory or recognition. Sometimes we call them cognition. Here we are using a lot of terms, but I don't think that when we do that kind of presentation, it is not that much necessary to use all the terms that we use here. But for your information and for the understanding, we are going to repeat certain things using the different kinds of terms just to explain the same thing. And thereafter, anyway, perceptions are identified to be sanya. And mental formations or mental fabrications or volitional activities we call sankhara. And consciousness, vinyana. These 5 heaps functioning together is life. So clinging or grasping to them is selfness or ego. Personal identity or personifications, each heap or aggregate exclusively or collectively, it means separately or together, all are rising and passing in. Usually an aggregate refers to the temporal building blocks of a person, arising and passing away, continuously undergoing constant changes. Sense faculties are developed and derived from bodily forms, physical parts. They are ear, eye, tongue, nose, body, and consciousness. Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jiva, Kaya, Mana. The eye has the capacity of serving as the base for vision. The ear faculty serves as base for sound. The nose serves as the base for smell. The tongue and certain nerves in the tongue for tasting. Then the body faculty has the capacity for feeling tactile sensations spread through the entire body, even the inner organs of the body. You know that when you have a pain or ache inside your body, you feel it. Material form of aggregates is physical body with its sense faculties. The whole body with all the organs serves as the basis for experience. And when it comes to mental aggregates, actually they are not just chemical or biological byproducts of matter, but mental factors are just real as material phenomena. Each one has its own nature. The five aggregate material form includes both the physical body and external matter. And skandhas or aggregates work together so seamlessly. Flow the process of, that means flowing sort of process effortlessly. And that they create the sense of single self, or we can say I, or individuality. And Buddhism teaches that there is no self occupying in the skandhas or aggregates. Understanding the skandhas is helpful to see through the illusion of self. Buddhist text or canon state Rupa of any person who is sentient being, who an object, is composed of four basic elements or basic kind of forces. Earth element for solidity, and water elements for liquidity or cohesion, and fire elements for heat, and air elements for motion. So when it comes to primary qualities of matter, right, we can say that the earth element. The earth element is the aspect and attribute of solidity or resistance to pressure, whatever characterized by hardness or solid elements. Water element. When it comes to water element, it is the property and attribute of liquidity. Liquidity can stitch the body. in the liquid, in liquid constituents of the body, the water element is most prominent. You know that it has the function of binding particles of matter together by cohesion or fluidity. And thereafter we get the fire element, the heat or the attribute of burning that we can feel in the body. The body has a constant temperature or kind of sometimes burning sensation. And again, even when digesting food, we can understand that there is sort of combustion. And then comes the air element, the property of motion or movement. At the subtlest level, it is the aspect of vibration. In material type of particles. So they are the basic constituents of matter. By strengthening or supporting the air or motion elements. All four elements are present in every material object, though in varying sort of degrees of strength. If the earth element predominates, the material is considered to be kind of solid. And thereafter, in five aggregates, we find Rupa, Vedana. Most of the time, we translate Vedana as sensations or feelings. Sensory experience of an object. The feelings received from forms. When it comes to the tone of experience, it is either pleasant, sometimes unpleasant, or neutral. Feelings or sensations usually generate in context. Feelings occur when our internal sense organs come into contact with kind of external sense objects and also associated with consciousness. Sensation usually leads to thirst or craving or lust. Feelings or sensations are just like popping up bubbles or foams, which last only moments of flashes. That's why Buddha says that Bubu Vedana Bubul Valata Upama karala tiyenne. And thereafter we get Sanya, perceptions. You know that you can define Sanya or perceptions as grasping at distinguishing features or characteristics. Or you can say that it's a sensory and mental process that registers or recognizes or sometimes categorizes or labels as shape, color, kind, emotions of sad, happy, fear, and so on. Perceptions also represent as being aware of attributes of an object. And accordingly, perceptions are very big mass of memory. Cannon said that perceptions are like a mirage. උපමා කරන්නේ ධර්මයේ මිරිඟුවකට. And then comes Sankara, what we usually call mental formations. constructing activities of thoughts, conditioned things, volitional or karmic activity. Sometimes if intention is involved, we call it volitional type of activities. And you can say that all sorts of mental imprints and conditioning that an object generates. Sankhara is the mental process which initiates actions or acts of performance. Simply saying the functionalities of thought process. Sankhara just like coils of a banana trunk. Sankhara kadalupama. Empty in essence. And then comes vijnana, consciousness, or chitta, mind. And awareness of an object and discrimination of its components and aspects done by consciousness or vijnana. You know that vijnana is of 6 types. And functioning is based on 6 sense faculties. The concept of vijnana is generally defined as a stream of consciousness as a process. The mind stream that is constantly changing from moment to moment is extensively analyzed in this practice. And we will see how consciousness occur and arise. You know that sense faculties are, as I mentioned you earlier, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. And the eye actually has the capacity of serving as the base for vision. And thought derived there is based on sight. The consciousness arises, there is identified to be eye consciousness. Likewise, the ear faculty serves as base for hearing sound and arises the ear consciousness. And you know that we can take the other in that particular base. That means so as the rest, the other faculties are the same. So when we analyze Panchaskandha as 5 aggregates, thereby we can dilute the concept of ego. And thereafter, I sent you a song. The theme of the song was there is a reason behind your birth. So we can discuss about that particular song. The brief idea of the song, right? When it comes to the general idea of the song, we can say that the song actually says that there is a reason behind your birth. Right? As you all know, the reason is our past performances. Here, we have to clearly understand what birth or bhava is. In Buddhism, we talk about punarbhava or rebirth. We do not talk or believe the concept of reincarnation. Those who believe the notion of soul or Atma submit the idea of reincarnation. There they point out a particular eternal and everlasting spirit going from one life to another. And it is considered to be the soul, which we Buddhists actually do not agree upon. And actually, we can explain the soul or the spirit according to it is mentioned in many more religions. the spiritual or material part of a human being or animal is called soul in many religions and regarded as everlasting, industry, insoluble, and unchangeable, immovable, unbreakable, or sometimes they call immortal, and eternally the same, and finally merge with the Almighty God. The soul pervades the entire body, and there is neither birth nor death at any time, and it has no present, past, or future, as they explained it. The soul passes from one body to another through a series of many more manifestations, in different appearances. The soul receives new forms of bodies, giving up old ones, just like changing old clothes. The song says that there are numerous reasons behind our present existence of this life. Our present life here as humans has not happened by a fluke or with no reasons. You know that we talk about 31 realms of existence. We just call it samsara, metempsychosis. Anyway, samsara doesn't have a discoverable beginning, as said by Buddha. Anavattaggayang sansaro bubbha koti napanyaya. And your destiny of present life or the nature of this life is mainly determined by the performance of your past lives. The law of karma or deeds, acts or performances spinning endlessly without stopping. What you do, you get. What you sow, you reap. And we say that you get the results or consequences of your own performance, maybe good or bad. You have to bear the fruits of your actions and all the performance. The effect of karma is beyond the control of anyone. You cannot escape from the outcome of the deeds by yourself. Even the worldly pleasure is impermanent. We cannot remain the happiness as we enjoy. Therefore, we shouldn't remain even in this human life. That's what the song suggests actually. The only solution is to break free from this cycle that binds us to this existence of suffering. The journey is full of uncertainty. And in order to break, in order to actually be free from the existence, we have to eradicate craving, anger, or illusion, the unwholesome roots which bind us to the world of endless suffering. So be a Buddha. The song suggests to be a Buddha. It means be a one who understands the reality of life. Buddha here means the pure understanding of reality, pure understanding the truth related to life. And I would like to play the song so that everybody can listen to it.